1943. Allied planners want to invade southern Europe. The obvious target is Sicily. Churchill jokes that only a fool would not guess Sicily. If he sees it, German staff will see it too. Naval intelligence needs something different this time. Not dummy tanks, an accident the enemy will trust. In a file they find the old Trout memo, which compares war to fishing. One idea is cold and simple. Put fake papers on a dead body and let the enemy find them. By 1943, this idea becomes real. Two officers push it forward. Ewan Montague, a sharp lawyer turned spy, and Charles Cholmondeley, patient and obsessed with details. First problem, a body. They do not want a famous officer with a grieving family. They need someone almost invisible. In London, a homeless man named Glyndwr Michael dies after eating rat poison. He has no close family. Doctors examine him and say his lungs, and body could pass for a man who drowned after an air crash. If they move quickly, the sea can hide the true cause of death. Now they must build a life around him. They choose the name Captain, Acting Major, William Martin of the Royal Marines. Common name, safe rank. Important enough to carry papers, not important enough for Berlin to know his face. They fill his pockets with pocket litter. A photo of his fiancée Pam. Love letters with small arguments. A bank letter about debt. A tailor's bill. Ticket stubs, keys, a silver cross. Nothing secret, everything human. It feels like a man who meant to come home. The heart of the trick is one letter. Lieutenant General Archibald Nye writes it by hand to another commander. The tone is casual, like staff gossip. Inside, he hints that Sicily is only a cover, and that the real attacks will hit Greece and Sardinia. Other routine papers in the briefcase repeat this picture. Montague and Cholmondeley check every detail. Could an officer of that rank be on that flight, on that date, on that route? Train times, unit lists, aircraft records all must match. The lie has to sit perfectly inside the real war. They pick the Spanish coast near Huelva as the place where the body should land. Spain is neutral on paper, but German agents are active there. Friendly officials often pass secrets to the Nazis. The outline is set. Dress Glyndwr Michael as Major William Martin. Chain a briefcase to his wrist. Take him by submarine to Spain. Let the sea and gossip do the rest. On paper in London, William Martin now exists. In reality, he is still the man who never was. April 1943. In a London mortuary, Glyndwr Michael is dressed for his final role as Major William Martin. Doctors put him in a Royal Marines uniform. Boots, belt, ID tags, and a life jacket. Into his pockets they slide the little lies. Pam's photo. Their affectionate letters. The bank warning about his overdraft. Ticket stubs, cigarette case, keys. Nothing looks like secret work. That is why it feels true. The last object is the briefcase. Inside lie Nye's letter about Greece and Sardinia and a few supporting papers. All marked secret, but not too secret. The handle is chained to Martin's wrist. The body is sealed in a metal canister packed with dry ice. No oxygen, very cold. It must travel without rotting. At night, a van carries Montague, Cholmondeley, and the canister north. If police or customs open the box, there will be questions no one can answer. But the van reaches Scotland without trouble. The canister is loaded onto HMS Seraph, a small submarine. The crew are told a cover story, a secret weather device to be dropped near Spain. Seraph slips into the Atlantic. For days, the canister lies under the deck like a second torpedo. Depth charges rumble once, but the boat survives. Near Huelva, before dawn, Seraph surfaces. Only a few officers come on deck. They open the canister. Cold air spills out. Martin's face looks pale, swollen, convincingly drowned. They check the chain on the briefcase, straighten his cap, and say a short prayer. Then they push the body into the sea and back the engines. The wash carries him toward the Spanish shore. Far out, they blow up the empty canister so nothing can be found later. A coded message goes back to London. Mincemeat completed. At sunrise, a fisherman near Huelva spots a body in uniform drifting in the water. He tows it to shore. Soon, Spanish soldiers and officials arrive. The British consul, Hazelden, hears that a dead officer has been found and hurries to the scene. An autopsy is held. Hazelden stands nearby, playing the worried diplomat. Spanish doctors find water in the lungs and no obvious poison. To them, it looks like a drowned airman from a crash at sea. Spain promises to keep the papers safe, but in the background other men are already asking how to see inside that briefcase. The bait has reached the hook. Now the real battle is over paper. In Huelva, the briefcase moves from office to office. Spain is neutral, but many officers quietly favor Germany. They know Berlin pays well for secrets. The British consul sends urgent messages. The documents are vital. London is deeply concerned. They must be returned at once. These cables are genuine, but also written for German ears that tap the line. Officially, Spain guards the case. Unofficially, someone opens it. In naval and police offices, seals are warmed over steam. A thin rod is slid into the softened gap. The letters are rolled into tight cylinders and pulled out without breaking the wax. The pages are copied and then re-rolled. Saltwater stains and creases are added so they look as if they spent days in the sea. One detail changes. An eyelash placed in London as a trap does not return. For the German spy in Madrid, Karl Erich Kuhlenthal, these papers look perfect. Real names, ranks, routes, units. Nothing feels like theater. He flies to Berlin with the copies. Back in London, the briefcase finally comes home. Forensic staff inspect every envelope. Fibers show stretching and rolling. The pages curl when laid flat. The eyelash is gone. Conclusion: someone read everything. To calm any doubts in Madrid, London sends one more polite lie, saying the seals were never disturbed. They want German officers to feel clever, not cautious. In Berlin, the copies reach the German High Command and Hitler himself. They do not see a deception plan called mincemeat. They see what they believe is a captured Allied order. The message seems clear. Sicily is a diversion. Real attacks will fall on Greece and Sardinia. Shipping and troops are being prepared for the Balkans. This fits Hitler's own fear of a strike into the soft underbelly through Greece. Because it matches his ideas, he trusts it more. Soon orders follow. Panzer divisions shift from France toward Greece. Forces on Sardinia and Corsica are reinforced. Torpedo boats and aircraft are moved away from Sicily toward the eastern Mediterranean. In Bletchley Park, British codebreakers read these movements in German radio traffic. They cannot see the faces in Berlin, but on their maps, arrows begin to bend away from the true invasion point. Summer 1943. The deception work on paper is done. Now the real test is on the sea and on the beaches. The true Allied plan is Operation Husky. The target is Sicily, not Greece, not Sardinia. At Bletchley Park, British codebreakers read German radio traffic. They see panzer divisions moving toward Greece and the Balkans. Extra units go to Sardinia and Corsica. Some fast attack boats leave Sicily. For the eastern Mediterranean, Hitler calls Sicily only one of several possible attacks. He fears a bigger blow through Greece, into the soft underbelly of Europe. The forged letters in Major Martin's briefcase match that fear exactly. Because they fit what he already believes, he trusts them. The Allies want one main result from this lie: time. Time while Sicily looks secondary. Time while German staff argue over maps. Time while the best reserves wait. In the wrong part of the war. On the night of 9 to 10 July 1943, Operation Husky begins. Paratroopers jump into strong winds and darkness. Some land close to their targets. Others are scattered across fields and villages. Out at sea, long lines of landing craft move toward the coast. Soldiers sit packed together, listening to engines and distant guns. On Sicily, radar sets and observers see the invasion fleet. Local commanders report a major landing, but higher headquarters hesitate. Some officers say, this is the main blow. Others insist, no, the real attack will come in Greece. That doubt is the quiet success of Operation Mincemeat. Reinforcements that could have rushed to Sicily are held back to guard the Balkans. Units that might have arrived in the first days come late or not at all. The battle for Sicily is still hard and bloody. Allied troops fight through hills, towns, and minefields. Axis units counterattack, pull back, and dig in again. But the balance is tilted. Without full German armored strength at the right time, the island cannot be held forever. After 38 days, Sicily falls. Axis forces evacuate across the Strait of Messina, under constant pressure. From Sicily, the Allies now have a bridge into Italy itself. After the war, captured German files show how the Martin papers were treated as genuine high-grade intelligence. The movements of divisions toward Greece and Sardinia match the fall story almost line by line. In Huelva, Spain, a grave carries the name Major William Martin, Royal Marines. For years, flowers are left there for a man believed to be a fallen officer. Much later, a new plaque explains the truth. His real name was Glyndwr Michael. No rank, no unit, no medals. He never saw Sicily and never heard the code name Mincemeat, yet his borrowed life helped bend maps and move divisions. Operation Mincemeat did not win the war alone, but it proved a dangerous lesson. In modern war, changing what the enemy believes can be as powerful as moving tanks and ships.